Hi, everyone. Welcome to our session. So, today's session is on getting healing and putting prosperity energy into our chakras while we do the Twin Hearts meditation. So, let's invoke for divine blessings. Let's close our eyes, connect the tongue to the palate, inhale and exhale slowly. Let's calm our minds, our emotions, and our thoughts to the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother. We thank you for your priceless blessings. We thank you for your divine love, divine power, divine healing. Thank you for the inner strength to practice regularly. Thank you for your divine help, protection. Thank you for illumination, abundance, and prosperity at all levels. We thank you. Let's do the soul affirmation. I am that I am. I am not the body, but I have a body that I have to take care of, that I want to take care of. I have emotions. I will create emotions of prosperity, abundance. I have thoughts. I now choose to create thoughts of abundance, prosperity, and a life that I really want. I am that I am. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am one with my higher soul. I am that I am. I am one with the divine spark within me. I am a child of God. I am connected with God. I am one with God, and I am one with all. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly. So, what we're going to do is in this series, we are going to talk about a few things that some of us do and that some of us have done, which are probably creating some kind of an issue in our prosperity. Okay. So, what we'll do is we'll have some short conversations on a couple of things. The idea is that when we do healing for you during the session while you meditate, of course, this doesn't apply to those watching this series on YouTube later. You have to watch this, you have to join us live. But for the rest of us who are here, the idea basically is that we need to be aware of certain things that we do which are impeding our prosperity. So the idea is that once we're aware of them, you can start to think of getting rid of them. And as you start to get rid of them, we as healers can try to remove them from your system, from your auras, from your chakras, when we do the healing. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is other sources of income. Okay, because we are in COVID times, and sometimes do you feel that, if I got a promotion or if I had more clients, or so it's kind of like, we are focused on our business or our work, or if we are working in a company, then we are focused on how the clients can be improved and increased, which is great. Of course, we'll talk about a few techniques related to that also. But the other thing we want to talk about is other sources of income. Sometimes we just need to be aware that there is also another source of income that is possible. And for a lot of people, if you read autobiographies of really wealthy people, you may have noticed that they usually have a creative side. I can refer to some people who I've read, in terms of who've written who are professionals, like at jobs, and who have written autobiographies or biographies. What I've noticed is that they usually had another interest. So let's say, for example, there was one person I read about, Gurcharan Das, who was working with a multinational company, and he had an interest in writing, for example. Okay, so similarly, just be aware that you may have another creative side, something that you can do. Perhaps it's just things like cooking, or it's just something like painting, or it's just something like doing service. There can be many, many, many other options. So that's of course another activity. So there's one main activity, which is where we are getting our main income from. And then there's a side activity, which also can create income. Apart from that, what are the other sources of income? You can have we can have property that we can put on rent. We can make investments in the stock market. of course under guidance, and we can invest in other forms of, property, in forms of money, in terms of, I don't know, any kind of investment, right? Fixed deposits. There are so many kinds of investments. Sometimes what happens is that we are so involved with our business, or with our job, that we forget that this money that is coming in also needs to be put to work. Okay. So, in order to put the money to work, you also have to have some thoughts on how to do that. So, for example, am I going to put X amount of money aside to buy a property, or am I going to put X amount of money aside and invest it in the stock market, or whatever plan you have. So, okay. So, I would like to request you to start thinking about that. And during the course of this session, towards the end, I would like you to have formulated a plan, because we're going to do, I think, about 10 sessions for this. So I'd like you to have formulated a plan of alternative sources of income. Now, what I would like you to do is, take a piece of paper and, write down your main source of income. And then below that, write down multiple alternate sources. So there may be other ideas. Now, what we are hoping is that by the end of the session, we would have hopefully removed some of the blockages that are either preventing those from happening, both internal, because most of our obstacles are actually internal. They are sometimes our own thoughts, they are sometimes our own emotions, and there are a couple of other things that we'll be talking about during the course of this 10 series sessions. Okay, so a piece of paper, preferably a notebook. Hopefully, if you've been working with me for a while, you already have a small notebook which you're using. If you don't, you can get one now. Please write down your main source of income, and then write down over the course of the next 10 days alternate sources of income. So leave some space, and write down alternate sources of income as we go along. And for now, let's just be aware that if we have these blockages of not being able to think of alternative sources of income, then at least let's be willing to release them. Okay, so this is something I read in a book. I think it was by Louise Hayes, Heal Your Life, where she says, I willingly release. Okay, or I willingly let go, something like that. So the idea is to basically let go. So let's think of what is it, if we have this obstacle that we are just obsessed with our own business and we can't think of any other way of earning money, then we want to let it go. Also keep in mind that sometimes small investments in other people's companies also can give a lot of return. So for example, let's say you have a spouse or a sibling, or even a parent who has some other skill. So let's say, for example, if my mom is interested in making sharbat, for example, then I can what I can do is I can invest in her business, right? I can put in some money into the business, and we can work out between my mother and me, what kind of percentage she's going to keep for doing the work and what kind of percentage she's going to give me. So, if you have multiple such small investments, also what that allows you to do is to help other people. Of course, you're helping your family, your friends. At the same time, you're also generating another source of income where you are not working full time or even part time. Somebody else is working, but you're helping them and they're giving you a source of income. Okay. So, with those ideas, let's start the session. So, while I was doing the scanning, what I found is that there is a little bit of resistance towards thinking about an alternative source of income. So, what I would like to do is, for those of us who are having that resistance, I would like you to just be aware. Don't don't get stressed out about thinking of so many sources of income. Okay, if you can't think of them right now, it's completely okay. That's why we're here. That's why we're trying to help. Okay, so the idea is that over the next 10 sessions you will hopefully get some bright ideas. So be aware when you are meditating, be aware of the when you're meditating, meditate, but also be aware that when we do the twin hearts meditation, the intuition becomes stronger. So you may find that over the next 10 sessions you are getting some ideas. So let's focus on that and relax, and also let go and be willing to receive healing so that you can have more alternative sources of income. Okay, so let's do that. So let's raise our hands in blessing position. Let's be aware of the crown. Let's be aware of our heart. Let's bless ourselves with beautiful golden pink energy. Let's be aware of our sources of income. Let's bless our sources of income, our alternative sources of income, the ideas that are going to come to us. Let's be open. Let's bless everyone else with good workable ideas for their alternative sources of income. So basically, what we are doing is that we are using the law of karma, which is that what we give, we receive. So we are giving blessings to everybody else so that they can, think of alternative sources of income. Okay, let's also bless our bank account. Let's have clarity in our mind as to what is the kind of income that we are looking for. Make sure that it is a reasonable amount, something that is doable, something that brings confidence, because you can always increase it later, but it's important to have a realistic target when we start. Okay, so let's start with something. And I've also read in multiple books that money apparently is the easiest thing to manifest. So anyway, so let's bless our bank account. Let's visualize the amount on the statement. What you can also do is you can take a bank statement and you can write, what is the number that you want on it in the balance. Okay, and just keep blessing that. That's a way of also manifesting. Okay, so let's do that. And since we're working on financials and prosperity, let's also be aware of our health. Let's bless our health. Let's bless our health with divine recovery, because sometimes we spend a lot of money on improving our health. We spend a lot of money on taking healthcare, which is fine if we need it. But if we're healthy, that's so much better. That's money saved, right? So let's bless our health. Let's bless our relationships. Good relationships means happiness, cooperation, less wastage. And let's bless our spiritual target. It's important for us to have enough wealth, roti kapra makan, which is food, clothing, and shelter, so that we have time to pursue spirituality. So that's why even in a spiritual school like ours, Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga by Master Chokok Sweet, there is a balance of material and spiritual teachings, because they're both required for us to be able to move on with our lives and to improve our lives. Okay, so I hope that was useful. So just want to thank our healers, Kunal, myself, and Zantana and Saili Patil have done the mass healing for everyone today. And just a quick reminder for the homework. So just make a notebook, write down your current source of income, write down the kind of overall income that you are looking for, write the amount on your bank statement and look at it regularly. And also make a small list over the next 10 sessions of 5 or 6 other alternative sources of income, which is possible for you to do. Okay. So with that, we'll end today's session. Thank you so much for joining. It's the group energy that makes the healing much more powerful. So would encourage you to bring your friends and your family. These sessions are open to all. Okay. So with that, thanks so much. Bye.